my bed and I stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition, yawn and stretch and try to come to life. Jump in the shower and the blood starts pumping. Out on the street, the traffic starts jumping. Folks like me on the job from 9 to 5. Well, welcome, Solway. We're going to discuss genitive case today. So up until this point, we have been able to do nominative and accusative and ablative. We're not going to discuss this D row or dative yet, but we are going to get the genitive. So let's start. First, our objective is to learn how to use genitive case in Latin sentences when reading them, so to understand it, when writing them, to actually create with it, when listening to them, to comprehend it. So, of course, this is first declension, our A declension. Don't forget, we also have second masculine. Second neuter. And third, which has both masculine and feminine genders. We're going to learn how to use the genitive in each of them. So, just a reminder, what I just showed you were declensions. Declensions, don't forget, are groups of nouns. I call them families that share the same endings. There are 5 total. So far, we have learned the first 3. And there aren't too many words in 4th and 5th, so that's good. When I ask you to decline a noun, I'm asking you to change the ending of the noun and to be able to take it through the different cases, nominative, genitive, accusative, etc. How you do this, of course, is you find the stem of the noun. This is important, and an important note. This dictionary entry. This is how we do our vocabulary. The first part is always the nominative singular. The second part is always the genitive singular. And since that's our topic, if you know the dictionary entry, then you know every single genitive singular. The gender, of course, and then the meaning are next. So there are those 5 cases, right? We have nominative, genitive, dative, which we don't know how to use yet, accusative, and ablative. This is an important chart that I've made for you right here. It shows what everything we know how to do does. And this works for both the singular and the plural. And it works for all the families, all the declensions, right? So, the nominative in every chart is used for subjects. The accusative in every chart is used for direct objects and some prepositions. Ablative in every chart are the other prepositions. And remember, I've told you that the prepositions that use ablative are the ones in SID space. This SID is sub, in, and de. The space is sine, pro, ob, cum, and arx. But today, our big focus isn't on SID space. It's not on subjects. It's not on direct objects. It's on the red highlighted row, genitive. Genitive is used for possessive nouns. So, make sure and ask yourself, do you know how to find a subject? Because that's how you use nominative. Do you know how to find a direct object? Because that's how you use accusative. Do you know how to find prepositional phrases? Because that's how you use ablative. The big question of today is, what is a possessive noun? Well, a possessive noun is simply a noun that owns or possesses another noun. So I've got a couple of examples for you. The girl's house is pretty. In this sentence, there is a noun that is owning another noun. There is a possessive noun. Which one is it? Well, in English, possession is shown by apostrophes. So the possessive word is girls here. So that means that in Latin, girls would be genitive. And that would be puellae, because that's the genitive ending. The second sentence, the girl's house is pretty. It is also girls. But what's the difference between this sentence and the first sentence? Well, girls here has S apostrophe. In the first one, it had apostrophe S. In English, if it's apostrophe S, it's singular. If it's S apostrophe, it's plural. So while this is still genitive, now it's genitive plural. And in Latin, that is puellarum, A-R-U-M. So I've got a few examples that I would like for you to scribe latine in commentario. And I'm going to work through them for you so you can see how genitive works with nouns in the rest of the sentence. A king's son fights. Okay, so right away I know the possessing word is the king because he has an apostrophe S. So the king is going to be genitive. It's apostrophe S, so that means it's singular. So I can say genitive singular for king is the second word in the dictionary. That's regus. The son is the one fighting. He's doing the action, so he's the subject, so he's nominative. So that's just the first word in the dictionary. So filius. Since he fights and it's present tense, I end up with prognat with a T. Let's work another. The wives' men walked to the city. More complex sentence. The wives with an S apostrophe tells me by that apostrophe that it's genitive. It also has S apostrophe, so it's plural. So the word for wife is actually uxor, uxoris. So it's third declension. So I need the genitive plural. That's a UM. So we're going to say uxorum. The men are the ones walking. They're doing the action. So they're nominative. They're the subject again. So the word for men can be one of two words. It can be homo hominis or the word weary, which is second masculine. We're going to use weir because you haven't seen it before. So plural nominative for second is weary. They walked, so past tense, and they, so ambulabant, to the city. To the city. That's a prepositional phrase. But odd, the word for to or toward, is not in sid space. So city will be accusative. City is erps, erpus. We need to change the cut off the erpus and make it accusative. So that's what we're going to do. So it's them. So uxorem, weary, ambulabant, ad urban. Last example. A great boy's city was great. Wow. That's a little repetitive. Anyway. The great boy's city. So the great boy is owning something. So this whole thing needs to be genitive. The adjective must be genitive, and so must the boy. Okay? Because since great describes boy, and adjectives must have the same case as their noun. It's only one because it's apostrophe S, so singular. So genitive singular. Well, boy, I know, is puer, pueri. So that's the genitive singular. That's the second word in the dictionary entry. So we're going to say pueri. Magnus, magna, magnum is great. And it also uses second declension like boy, so they'll have the same ending. So magni. The city is the subject of the sentence. So it's just the first word in the dictionary entry. So verbs. Since was is a word we are gonna look at in the next couple of chapters. Erot is the word for was. Now great. Great describes the city, so we need it to be nominative. But should we choose magnus, magna, or magnum? Well, that depends on the gender of the city. Since the city, word city is feminine, we're going to choose magna. If I can spell. And that's it in a nutshell. One last thing that I would like to note for you guys is that another way to express genitive, another way of saying it besides this apostrophe S, is I can say of thee. So instead of saying a great boy's city, I could say the city of the great boy in English. So if you see that in English, the of the great boy, or the men of the wives, or the son of the king, that's still genitive. Alright, good luck on your practice quiz. And the first person to Edmodo or email me and tell me who the singer was of the song that I was playing and what the name of that song was at the beginning of the video will get auto extra gratiam. Bonum fortunam, vale.